Wow, wow, and wow. Let's see, where's it at? There's that microphone. Come on, microphone. Wow, wow, and wow. We are stunned by the numbers, but March CPI was at 3.03 act versus 5.6. March core 6.5 versus 6.6 estimated. So it was a little bit lower. And it's picked up the stocks a little bit, just firm, nothing major. It's not like they're exploding or something like that. But the numbers are really wild, and I'm going to digress and take it to where we usually are, and that is that this is the reason why cryptos have validity. It's a perfect example of it, because the numbers we get from the Labor Bureau statistics and the Federal Reserve and so forth, we have less confidence in. When we receive information from sources that we have lost, conviction, belief, however you want to describe it, that's what happens. Is that we get to a point now where we don't know how to trust it. And so the numbers, it's not up that much, in the sense of the markets are not up that much, but they're firm. It's just another reason why we lean into the cryptos and we go, wait, we gotta understand this more. We have to appreciate the lack of confidence that we have. That's a real weird thing to do, But that's what delayed me there a few seconds. I couldn't believe the numbers we saw coming in. I'm shaking my head. 8.5 versus 8.4. That we were expecting that. We were looking for 8.5. It came in 8.5, but then all the numbers get pushed around, and in the end result is that I guess you could say the central bank, the era of the central bank, and the understanding. Let me just check my volume too. I'm not sure if I hear anything here. Where's my volume at? That era is coming, I guess, to a close on some level. I think that's. Let's see if I hear myself. Do I hear myself? Yeah, there we go. I hear it now. And that's what the confusion is. It's kind of like when Winston Churchill towards the end of the war said, "It's not the end, but it's the beginning of the end." And cryptos are telling us basically we've lost confidence in the way the financial universe functions anymore. I saw a thing this morning about the European Union, $140 trillion, not $1 billion, $140 trillion worth of assets are going to be challenged now by this new policy of the European Union about if it matches up the climate. It's like, are you kidding me? Matches up the climate. It's like they want us to base our financial world off of rain and snow and so forth, in the sense of if we can control it. Somehow or another, they actually think we can control those things. It's amazing to actually believe that anybody thinks we have one iota of an ability to control the rain, the snow, the sun. It just. And so here we see, on a simplistic earthly level, the numbers coming out, and they get pushed around. We see gold up almost $20 at this point. You see that pressure. You can see on J4X here, the Swiss against the dollar, and you can see it's two red hinkies for the last couple of days. And I thought I had it up on Chicago Quant too. Let me put it up on Chicago Quant to get that more dynamic look. Come on, where are you? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? You're around here somewhere. There it is. And so you can see there, we're just up a little bit, nothing major. We went into a daily sell yesterday. You see that right there. It's below the zero line, and they've pushed it up and down. And you can see the weekly is showing some weakness in there too at the same time. So, but this is the classic. This is the foundation of why cryptos are getting traction. They're not the greatest yet. They're not the most liquid yet. Of course not. And we've seen a move from 70,000 down to like 33,000 in just a 3 or 4 month period, when we thought that the news that came out would take cryptos from 70,000 to 110,000. I didn't myself personally, but that's what the predictors say or said, and some were saying even like 150,000. Instead, we get the inflation. Everybody expects to see it go up to like 120, 130, or 100, and where's it go? It goes down to 33,000. Discounts instead. So but it's not going to go away. That's the thing, is that the cryptos will not go away because we have our doubts about the accuracy of the data and the way the data is utilized. So core year over year is 6.5, was estimated to be 6.6, but the actual this month now is up to 8.5, and so that's where we stand. And it's interesting. It's fascinating to watch these numbers play their game, watch the markets play their game. It's just on a whole process here. But one thing's for sure, we try to bring you the facts here in the sense of understanding reality. Now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up. What is that? Up 123. It was up about 150. That's nothing. It's not even a quarter. It's about a third of a percentage point. That's it. A third of a percentage point. Nothing to get excited about. It's just background noise. The Dow could go up or down 300 points in a day, and that would be normal. That would be not abnormal, which is always curious in my head, is why the media, the financial media, has now taken to pretend that a 300-point move in a day is some dramatic event. And that's what always has me even more confused, is this lack of ability to appreciate the price action, the price action itself. And it just goes on and on and on. That price action is important to be. It's called like Al Einstein's thing. Relative. If a 1% move is just an active day, and that's it, just an active day. But you hear the media talk like as if it's the world is coming to an end, or the world is exploding on the upside with a 1 or 1.5% move. They get excited and they think that especially if it's down. Oh, the market was sold today. It was hit hard. Blah 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 blah. That type of thing. Probably the nice thing about currencies is the currencies have been. I want to use a word. It's a French word. It's called sanguine. In other words, it's kind of like chill or relaxed. Overall, I don't see the markets that dynamic. I see them the other way around. I find them to be enormously more static and locked in ranges and relatively predictable. So, that's my gist of these big numbers coming out today. Hey, Robin. All right, let's jump over to, that was the Swiss. As I said, you can see the Swiss is just showing a little weakness now developing on the weekly. That would be interesting. And we're seeing the daily trying to get into a sell at the same time. So we are obviously seeing some weakness now develop. But that's not anything meaningful. It's just noise in a day. Until we get into a change of direction. We see 2 weeks ago we went into a sell. It failed. The next day it went into a daily buy with a volatility signal, as you can see right here. Right there. You see that with the red and the green. And you see then we went into a daily buy and it goes up. We go into a close in a weekly buy last week right there. Matter of fact, why don't we have that in there? Let's put that in there like that. And we go into a weekly buy last week right there. Oop. Click-diddy-doo-dah. There we are. And then here we are, starting off this week, dancing right back again. Just right back into the sell side of it again. So this is what we're really seeing is a very, I want to use the word sloppy. It's sanguine and sloppy. So it's like kind of peaceful, but at the same time, it does not really reflect, the terror that the news media likes to put on it. And so what we're going to see now is basically, I would assume, is that markets will go a little sideways. Let me think. What's on? Earnings are coming out this week. This is the mother's milk in the stock market side of it. So everybody gets excited. Watches the earnings. We're a little worried that earnings are going to feel a little bit more pressure, and that's what feeds everything in the beginning. And in other words, when earnings are up, I said this yesterday in the webinar, when earnings are up, the markets find ways to go up in value. And when the earnings are down, they find ways to go down in value. And that is very solid historically, very solid. All right, from there, I don't see anybody asking any particular questions, so let's jump over to the euro and see what the euro is up to this morning. Let's see, right there, there's the euro. You see the euro is trying to lift up. You see it on J4X. You see the volume is stalling out on that push down. And looks like it's trying to make some type of lift there. You see that. And at the same time, let's put it over here. There we are. You see there, we've been dancing on the bottom end of the range. You see that right there. Ooh, I didn't mean to move that. There you go. So you see there, bottom of the range. It played it there. Now it's playing it there. Well, let's tighten that up just a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. And then we move this over just a little bit, like so. And let's see if you can see the weekly sell. We'll just squeak it a little bit more tighter. There we go. And we'll move it over. There we are. You can see this is, we went through this sell, buy, sell, and then and we've been in that sell ever since. So there's like 2, 4, 6, 8. We're getting on. This is the 10th week in that weekly sell. We went into the daily sell here. So it's a winner chicken dinner. But it's played itself down to the bottom end of the range and is sitting on it. I would imagine that I guess they're going to have to try to figure out what's up next. I mean, we saw the distortion from the Ukraine-Russian, the terrorist attack by the Russians against the Ukrainians. Now we're trying to understand what the next level of that is all about. We still see it here on the news sources I pay attention to, but the general media is trying to walk it away a little bit. I think they try to, they just want to blame Mr. Putin for our inflation and then try to walk away from there. But none of it seems to be really that clear, I guess you could say. We don't have a lot of clarity at the moment. And so the euro is probably sitting down on the bottom of its range solely for that reason. Let's see. And that is pretty much the euro against the dollar. And we'll see if it finds a way to climb into the buy there. And you can see the weekly, we got the green line above the time manifold, but we're disappointed that you can see the shadow of the 5 super part of it is still hanging down. So not really seeing a lot of buying at the moment. All right, from there, we're going to drift over to the cable since no one's asked any questions. You see all that red there on J4X. Again, the product trying to bottom out there. You can see that on the white line piercing the dashed line. And then down below, the volume is still dropping, so representing the weakness that we're seeing as we speak. And then we drift over to Chicago Quant. The chart there says right underneath the range itself, just hanging there. Just kind of like a turtle just waiting to cross the road. Now we can see the weekly is trying, look at it, it's even zeroed out right there. It's even trying to show some life in it. So we need to move that over a little bit more. Will that help? I think that'll help a little bit, won't it? Let's see. Yeah, right there. You can see there, it's trying. It's in the plus by the hair of its chinny chin. See exactly what it is. It is at 23. So plot 4, that's the green line, is at 0. Oh, now it's 26. 0.000. So 3 zeros and a 26. Now we're not seeing the daily show any real life to it, but it is firm today, and we're getting the little red and the green dots at the moment. So maybe something will start to perk up here over the next few days. Can we say more about the cable? I saw Boris Yeltsin was Yeltsin? Boris Johnson? Boris Johnson was in Kiev last weekend. Must be the place to be on weekends now. And he was walking around and talking to people and so forth, and so I guess things are straightening out in the center of the country. And I myself keep on thinking that when this finally gets to some type of resolution, that'll smooth things out, and we'll probably see a better market. At this point, I don't think the market's bad. It's just that I don't think it has a lot of conviction, a lot of follow through at the moment. That's why we go into some of these weekly buy, weekly sell, weekly buys again, and vice versa. Weekly sell, weekly buy, weekly sell, real quick. All right. From there, you can see just looking at Chicago Quant, with it parked underneath the bottom end of the range. Obviously, inflation has some effect on what the range is. And ever since Mr. Trump has left, we don't hear that data anymore. They're hiding it, so they won't tell us if things are good or bad, or in other words, if manipulation's going on or not going on. I don't even know how you define manipulation anymore, but the best I can guess is that if these things stay in their ranges, the manipulation is not. Yes, I know, that's like an oxymoron. So if the products are kept in their ranges, manipulation is not being done. Oh boy, is that wild. But if the product goes outside its boundaries, and away from its boundaries or range, then there is manipulation. Isn't that supposed to be like the reverse? Isn't that supposedly free markets versus not free markets? It's again, no wonder people get more and more closer to cryptos when you hear absurd statements like that. All right. From there, again, with nobody asking a question, we'll drift over to the Turkish Lira. We'll just keep on marching. Let's see. Let's look at the dollar Turkish Lira. See what that's up to. Activate. And you can see there it's hanging like that, right on the top end of the range now for over a month. Just banging along there. You can see the weakness. Let's widen that out a little bit. You can see the weakness kicking in on the daily. So it fell into the sell yesterday, breaking down there. Been in this weekly buy since, let's see if you can see this. There we are. Been in the weekly buy since here, but it's been quiet, hanging out on the top end of the range. Now that's the dollar Turkish Lira, and that's okay. We're coming to the end of the rectangle there, so we're going to have to expand that again. So let's do that. Go like that, click, and expand it a little bit further. There we are. And now we'll take a look at the Euro Turkish Lira. Euro Turkish Lira right there. And you can see we're moving down from the top end of this range. This one we've made in gold. Just thought it would be a little bit more interesting. There it is right there. I'll widen it out again. And you can see the weekly is getting tighter and tighter. Oh, let's widen it more. So you can see it's trying to get down towards the minus side. Maybe it'll come down and challenge the green line here, which is the 50 percentile on the Fibonacci of it. And at the same time, you can see the with the day quant being in a daily sell now for, what's that, 2, 4, 6, going on a 7th day. We kind of think it should hover down here. Turkey's really come up with some very interesting ways of keeping their economy, getting it back on track. Let's say that. I'm real happy that they give out those free options for purchasers of the currency. It's a cheaper way of trying to firm their currency and reduce inflation and so forth. Can't wait to see the inflation numbers coming out of Turkey over the next few months. They had hit some of the highest points, which made total sense because it's a kind of a lagging indicator. And, it's an average like a moving average. So we'll see if it starts to top out a little bit, and see if the currency starts to reflect less, less. What's the word to describe it? Less inflation, I guess. That's the best way to describe it. All right, let's put it up on the screen here too on J4X. There it is. Lots of red, just like here on Chicago Quant. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Let's do it again. Lots of red, just like on Chicago Quant, right there. See? Matching up fine. Daily pressing towards the downside here. You can see that. And we had been, as you can see right here, hanging out on the downside. Now it's trying to perk up a little bit. You see volume has gone sideways. And the Euro Turkish Lira is down, heading towards the middle of the range, which is cool. Actually, it's like a third. What's that? Point. It's at 0.23 at this point, moving down. So we'll see if it gets to 0.38, and then maybe it gets to 0.50. Would be something to see it slide into the weekly sell, and then see it go like that going into the summer months, or at least finish off the spring. I guess if they can complete this situation of backing the invasion by Russia into Ukraine, and things will smooth out more. At least that's what I would think. The math doesn't say anything about it. We just follow the math. But I'm just always trying to figure out what the story is. The alleged story. The alleged story. I'm going to take a sip of water. All right. Now, from there we'll go over to Canada. See what Canada is up to. Canadian, you can see, has pushed itself into the buy the last couple of days there. And we're down today, of course. And you can see it's challenging the line right there. And we're in the weekly sell since there. So nothing too surprising there. Usually we interpret, as I put this up on J4X, we interpret that, we expect when we see Canadian losing against the dollar, we assume that the oil is going down in value. And last I looked this morning, it was fighting its way back up again. And you can see here now it's topped right there on J4X. So maybe what we'll do is we're going to start, and you can see the same thing here on the Chicago Quant. It's doing its topping thing and trying to break the zero line. So maybe that's a sign of unfortunately oil getting a little bit more value in it again. And Dow Jones Industrial Average up a whole 0.7%, which is up 234 points. So I'm a little perplexed on the oil situation, in the sense that the lockdown in China is was giving it some, it lost value yesterday. And let's go there. Let's just show you oil. And then today they're bringing it back up again. And it closed on Friday at this is the spot contract at 98.26, and today's high is 98.63. So it's above where it settled at one point today, and right now trading at 97.77, as you can see it ticking away. So they're reaching in. You can see the daily is trying to perk up here, and you can see we went into a weekly sell right there. And we'll see how well it does about trying to get back into that buy this week. And this is the spot. And that's the action we're seeing with the oil. So that's why, in some ways, you would think that see how it's curving over on the J4X, you would assume that might be a sign that oil is trying to go up in value. Now we'll take a look at, we'll leave Canadian up there and just take a look at gold. Look at both of those. There's gold. Gold's doing the same thing, showing life in it. It's in its third day of a buy, pressing up. And the weekly has pierced right now just the plus side by a little teeny bit, I think. I just realized it's the super it's showing on there. So let's fix that. Style. Kill that. And click that. There we are. And the answer is yes. You see the green box. is 60 now. It was just 52. Now it's 72, 76. Now it's 80. So we are trying to climb through the plus side at the moment and get back into that weekly buy after just one whole week. It pushed itself into the sell with this little weakness in there. And then at the same time on Friday of last week, it closed in the daily buy. So kind of keeps you in the neutral. So you never really got a chance to be short. Maybe a little short at one point or another during the week if you were an intraday trader using binaries or options or marrying options to spot, that type of thing, but not outright. All right, from there, what we do is we drift over to the South African Rand, assuming with gold moving up in value, we're going to see the Rand moving down, gaining against the dollar. And let's see. Let me see. Right there. Yep, you see two reds on the J4X right there. See the white line piercing. Pressure's on. And let's dance our way over to the South African Rand. Right there. Let's see. I'm looking for my glasses. There they are. All right, so you see a couple days now in a sell. Is that the third day? Let's widen that out a little bit. How do we do this? If I go like that, can you see it? Yeah, you can see the sell there now. So let's widen this just once and see how that looks. That's not too bad. And move it over a little bit more like so. Yeah, so you can see that. You can see the sell right here. And you can see we went into the daily sell 3 days ago right there. We closed in the sell and it's pressing down. And when we see that and we're in a weekly sell, obviously, especially with it down this low, we kind of think that you'll see some strength in gold. And boy, we did get it. I guess you could say, oh boy, we got strength in gold today, up a whole almost $20. Whoop-de-doo. And it's not the most explosive price action, but it's just moving up. And that's a lot better than moving down when you're long it. There we go. Hey, Kelly. I missed the euro. Could you see the euro? Sure. Let's go take a look at euro. I'll throw it up on J4X first. All right. Right there. There we are. There's euro. You see it's giving it that pressure. We're down at the bottom into the range. There it is right there. You can see we're just hanging. Not too exciting. Nothing really jumping out at us. Like the daily's keeping chill. The weekly's kind of just a little firm, but still in the minus. So right now, it's not jumping at us and saying, watch out above or watch out below. It's just, see, it's hanging on the range itself at the moment. Oh, I'm sorry. I gave you euro dollar, not euro Swiss. Let's give you euro Swiss. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. There it is. There's Euro CAD. There's Euro Swiss right there. Euro Swiss went into a buy there. Went into a sell yesterday, and it's just a teeny weeny little down, and you can see the weekly is doing that same press thing right there. And it slipped into the weekly buy right there on the close of Friday. And now we are doing the reverse again. It's trying to push us right back into that sell. And we've been pretty much, and we went into the sell here, did that buy thing right there. Oh, where's that sell at? Let's put that in there like that. There's your sell. Get rid of the top one. And now we're back into the sell again. Which we can remove that right there and put it in the right spot right there. I would imagine, the euro against the Swiss, I would think that, the uncertainty of the war and so forth, you always think that the Swiss will have a little bit more pep in it. But it really has not. But then, the euro hasn't either. The euro is playing at the bottom end of its range. So it's not something that's has us convinced that there's anything really going on. I really think that, things are just kind of chill, as I say. I think they really are. I guess we need another something positive. Oh, there you go. They're showing Boris there, walking around with Zelensky, Boris Johnson, in Kiev. Cool. Now, so I hope that gave you some idea of what's going on with the euro against the Swiss. That big, I guess the big thing is that it's pushing itself right back into that weekly sell. That's something to be thought about, Down here, for those that are not as aware as we talk about here. See? Right there. All right, from there we're going to go take a quick look at He Who Shall Not Be Named. Look at the tightness of that. In that weekly sell there, I think we closed in a daily sell there yesterday. Right there, let's put that in. And then let's put the buy in. Right there, which was not exactly the best buy of the world, let's put it that way. But then when you're in a weekly sell, no reason to take it serious to begin with. And I guess the sell there was kind of cool. And that's a sell there too. So go sell there, buy there, sell there. Yeah, so let's put those in. There and there. And there. There we are. And that's it there. All right. Let me save this too, so I don't have to do this again tomorrow. And that's the currency that will not be named. All right. Then it's like Harry Potter. Then you see the 6-year high in yen against the dollar, and just a little weakness, nothing major, just a turn down. Let's see what it shows over on the J4X. Right there. You see that long march up of all the green right there. Just like on the Chicago quant. So they match up very well. And you can see we're doing a little topping out here. And you can see we're doing a little top out right there. No problem, Kel. No problem at all. That is, let's see, that is the yen. So from the yen, we slide over to North America and we take a look at the Mexican peso. Let's see what the peso is telling us today. There we are. There's the Mexican peso playing with the bottom end of the range again. You can see the white line piercing. You see the volume dropping. Let's put up over here. Right there. Same, we're in a sell for a second day, and it's sitting right there, sitting on the trend, or the range itself, the two black lines. Then we Fibonacci that. And we're in that weekly sell for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, going on an 8th week. So we're not really looking for any bounce more than just the fact that it's at the bottom end of the range. And when you look at it on J4X, you can see it still seems to be wanting to push even further south. You can see the volume is dropping underneath it all. That's those dotted lines at the bottom. We'll just emphasize them right there, those things right there. All right, that's it. The 10-year bond is trading at 2.71. Not too bad. I keep on expecting to see them in the 3.5 area, if not 4. Bitcoin is up a little bit today, up at 1.5%. That's not too bad, up about 500, 600, about 600 points. All right. From there, we're done. If anybody wants to see a currency, just shout it out. We'll go back to them. But now what we're going to do is we're going to go through the commodity side. So we'll look at where do we go from here? Let's go to take a look at Brent. Let's go energy first. And there's Brent. All right. You see Brent down a little bit pressure-wise, but the white line is trying to turn up on J4X. And we'll take a peek at the back month in oil, which is going to become the front month in a matter of a week. So there is crude oil June. You see that's lifting up right there. And you can see we're trying to get into a daily buy. We've got a red and a green going on. And we're trading at 98 and change where we settled on Friday. Like I said, I'm not convinced that oil can go down too far. It's going to, I could see it in the 80s or something like that, the high 80s. But I don't really see, until the resolution with Russia is resolved, I don't see any particular reason why it won't vacillate, say, between 105 and 85, that type of thing. That should be the range it hangs out in. Just a wild guess. No math is telling me anything particular. You can see we did slide into a weekly sell after being in a weekly buy since late December. So it's taking its rest. Or like a a good meal. It's digesting. That's probably the better way of describing it. It's digesting, and the digestion usually is like a triangle or a flat or a what do you call it? A plateau on the charts. That's one of the ways we interpret that. All right, from there, take a look at spot real quick. See the same thing. They're almost at parity with each other. 98.77 versus 98.20 something. Let me just see where it's at. Yeah, 20.30 there. So it's only about 40-cent difference, 45-cent difference. And the spot is doing the same flirtation right there, and we're getting their little volatility signal. Both are underneath in the weekly sell too at the same time. All right. Let's see. That's oil. Let's see what natural gas looks like. We'll show you American natural gas first. It's been climbing, acting strong, that's for sure. We're at 6.6 a cubic foot. And there it is there, too, at the same time. So we are at the highs. These are like, I don't know, 5 or 6 year highs, something like that. It's been a while since, maybe it's a 10-year high at this point. We can take a look at it over on J4X. Let's go into a monthly. Try to get a flavor of that. That's a monthly. We haven't been that high up since 2014, so that's 8-year highs we're playing with. Eight-year highs. Now let's take a look at natural gas in the European Union itself, which is probably trading close to 30. There's 29.20. Not that much. It's just sitting there. And you can see the white line on J4X kind of coming to the top end of its range. Lots of green hinkies there for the last 7 days, is it? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 7 days. I myself think that with the summer season coming on, things will chill a little bit, and gas will be used, but not natural gas as much. And then who knows what will happen? In November, depending on how the election plays out, it could be really opening up the doorway to enormous amounts of energy, and that will help cut the inflation, which will, relax. Could put a charge into the stock market even. Could actually do that. All right. So from there, we unless someone asks for something, we'll skip through there to the metal sector. So let's take a look at silver. There's gold first. There's gold. trading at 1972. Let's put it up over here. And so we are up. Yesterday it settled at 57 basically, and today we are trading at 76. So we're about $19 up. You see that pressure on it there, and you can see we are flirting with the weekly buy, which is a good thing if you're along it. There we are. I'm going to move that up like so, and there we are. I'm going to save that. Now, from there, the gold, we'll take a look at silver. Yesterday, Robin was really pushing in the webinar. He's saying, silver's really got it going. It's kicking it up. And sure enough, it's doing it again today. This is its third day in a daily buy. But unfortunately, that weekly doesn't seem to be able to get any real legs yet. So that disappoints us. It's like, oh, darn. And we were hoping that we would see, that start to turn plus. They did take it down to that 455 area, played underneath it by about 20 cents, and now they seem to have perked it back up to 25, almost $1 higher from that range. So gold and silver are showing strength, and the gold itself is showing you not only the daily strength, but the weekly strength. Let's check out copper. Been in the sell for a few days. This is the fourth day. But you can see here they pushed it into the weekly sell last week, and sure enough, we are already battling to get into the buy again. Precious metals and energies, I just have a hard time believing they can really weaken them too much. In a world that doesn't give much of a return, in other words, asset value, gain in value by buying something. Minus, the stocks seem to be one of the only places that you can see people buying things and they go up. There's some gain in them most of the time. I mean, we are down for the year in the stock market, so don't take what I just said as like a sign that, the bull market is on. Right now we are digesting. The Dow, the S&Ps, and NASDAQ, or the Tech 100, all three of them are minus for the year. But year over year, they're still up very good. All right. Now from there, let's drift over to, let's see what platinum's doing. I think it's time to change the platinum contract too. Let's see who the platinum contract should be. We'll put that in there. We haven't looked at platinum, but platinum led this war. You can see this is the fourth week in a sell. Hasn't really gone down too much, but platinum has been really, a product that's been telling us really the nature of the metals complex. All right, there we are, metals and platinum. And the answer is the July contract. So let's put July in there now. I figured I'd save that for the webinar. I didn't plan it today. We just hadn't changed it, that's all. There it is. Instrument, add, futures. What's that? Pajamas, PJs. No, it's PL. PL for platinum. Look up. We want the N like in Nancy, or July, like the 4th of July. Okay, close. See how she looks. There you are. Let's get the weekly in there. There we go. Now, gave us a volatility signal there and a volatility signal there. So it's been in the sell since here. It drove down, pops up, and it's back down again. It's trying to go down. Let's put that buy in right there. And let's put that sell in right there. And that's where we're at. We're still in that sell, even with all this noise. And the weekly sell is right there. Let's write it up on there too. July platinum. There we are. Let's make it white. Make it 12. And let's save it. Save workspace. And save workspace as. Let's see, where's that at? Right there. Yes. Save. There we go. That's the platinum. And platinum seemed to lead us. We noticed that, you know, in the charts last year. It jumped into the weekly buy ahead of gold when everybody was becoming really frustrated with silver and gold. They just weren't really rallying. And then they really started to put their charge back into it. You know, platinum lifted its head. And the next thing you know, we got some good action out of all of it. Now from there, let's see. So we've done the metals and we've done the energies. So let's check out the stock indices. There's the Tech 100 trying to lift up fairly well today. Yesterday it settled at 14,003. Right now it's trading at 14,213, so it's up a couple hundred points. What percentage is that? I think that's that might be like 0.7 or something like that. Let's see if we can find it. Maybe 0.83, something like that, right around there. No, it's up 1.53. That's what it is. So it's up 1.5%, which is, it's usually about twice as fast as all the other stock indices. Or let's put it this way, the Dow and the S&P, because you know we have the Russell too. It's a very thin actioned adventurer. We'll have to check that out too today, since we've got some time here and no one's been asking any questions. All right, so you can see there, and at the same time, let's do this. Let's see. Let's open up this one right here, so we can see an up close and personal look on an intraday basis of these stock indices themselves. While we're waiting for that, there you go. You can see there's the Dow Jones Industrial Average right there, still filling in. That's the Tech 100 right there. Let's put it up on J4X. There you go. You see that red in there? It's starting to bottom out here. Volume has kind of hit the bottom end of its range, it looks like, I guess. Right there. That's a low there for that. Maybe we're going to start to see a little buying again in the stock indices. I see Bitcoin is up today. We'll go through that one too. You see the Dow Jones Industrial Average right there, up 75. And let's get back to the daily like so. Right there. So there's the Tech 100, as you can see it on here, on J4X. Trying to turn also. And we're doing somewhat of the same thing there. You can see the green line trying to turn up. And then our weekly, still in a weekly buy from here. So this has been a correction more than anything else. Now, let's take a look at, let's go back to the indice again. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 right there. Now that closed in the daily sell yesterday. It's lifting back up about 33, We're looking at something like up about 30%. Nothing made. No, I'm sorry, 70%. 73% for the day. 0.73%, not even one full percentage point. But we're still also in the weekly buy in that one right there. From that range. Oop, did I just move something up there? I think I did. So let's do this. Let's move that back down. Format, cancel line 5. I think that's the bottom. So let's move it back property-wise to the bottom. There we are. So the fact that it's been in that buy from down in here, they've come down and challenged it. Now they're bouncing off of it, which is kind of classic in its own nature. Usually they do things like that. They like to stay inside healthy ranges or comfort levels. So the S&P 500 just showing a little firmness in there. And let's just take a look at it on the intraday basis again, like so. And there is a Tesla and a half. Right there, you can see we're flirting with the buy. No, we're not. Look at that. 3 volatility signals in a row. But it's trying. If this turns up and this goes green right here, we'll get a little pop in it. And then we'll widen that out for you so you can see that. There we are. There we go. Now we're starting to set up to try to run. At the same time, you can see here it's trying to get through the plus. Just need a little green dot and, close above the 0 line there. We're watching it. We're watching. There we go. Let's see. No. Yep. So let's see. Where's the settlement at? Right there. 11. No, not 11. Where's the last? At 41.50. Now it's trading at 42. Now 42.75, 43. See? That's how it works, traders. Hot and heavy. Follow the math. So it just jumped 2 handles real quick. And that's intraday trading right there. Now, if it goes back to 41.50, that's a whole little round trip of 2 full points. And you're gone. You're out buying your windy burgers. All right. What else do we want to say about the S&P? I guess right there. Overall, it's still trying to find some way of getting back into the buy, on the daily basis, but it's very comfortably there in the weekly. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. There it is right there. It's also lifting, and it's doing it with a 2-day sell, but the weekly is still intact. So all 3 indices, as you can see, the Tech 100 and the other 2, are all in weekly buys. Now let's go over to the weakest of stock indices. That would be the Russell 2000 right there. And you can see we've been down at the low ends of its range. And it's showing a little volatility signal. You can see the line's trying to turn up. It's been in the sell since here. So that whole ride was there. And you can see we've been in a weekly sell. I guess we went into the weekly sell last week. We closed in a weekly sell. Did we? No. Nope. Just missed it by the hair of its chinny chin. So we're trying to turn up again in what is the most speculative of stock indices we have here in the States. And that's the Russell 2000. Now let's close her out with the Bitcoin. And there's the Bitcoin. Bitcoin's giving us a signal with a red and a green. You can see this is going on. Oh, let's get it up over there on J4X too. Right there. You can see same thing on J4X. Lots of red, but we're starting to see the white line turned here down at the bottom, and the volume has been a little basing, trying to turn sideways to go up. And you can see Bitcoin today is showing a little life at the moment, pretty cool, and we're just above, as you can see, the plus side of the daily, and the weekly is holding on by a thread right there. All right, so that is our wonderful walk through all the markets that we pay attention to. And anytime anybody wants to see something like the way Kel did, he jumped in and says, hey, I'd like to look at this, just throw it up there. We'll just take a look at it. We'll stop what we're doing. We like doing that. It's the way we roll around here. Anyhow, traders, we will catch you again tomorrow, which is Happy to Hump Day, Wednesday. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders, see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Over and out.